Welcome to Unlocking Your Power with Francesca. This podcast is designed to help you build a bulletproof mindset and embrace the badass you are. I will be the external voice to remind you during those tough days and give you that kick in the butt that you need. Let's get it going. Welcome back to Unlocking Your Power with Francesca. I am your host. Now, in this episode, it's going to be a little short, but this is more of an encouragement and a reflection on the positive aspects of your life and not looking towards the negative. So I just want to start off by saying that you are enough and you're not broken. You know, we all go through terrible things in life and experience a multitude of traumas, and it is actually part of the journey that we have in order for us to understand ourselves, build our character, but what we go through actually makes us completely unique in our own way. And you have a story, I have a story, and most often when it comes to these traumas, you know, we automatically think that we're broken, and we give that power over to the event or the people that cause certain things in our life of what occurs, and it feels like part of you has been taken from you. A portion of you have been removed from yourself. But I do want to tell you something. Okay, let me repeat this. I'm going to repeat this over and over. You are not broken. You are human. And that's the beauty of being human, is the flaws that we have. And the perspective has to be switched in order to recognize that. And that's what I'm going to do a little bit today. So, of course, like trauma, you know, it is actually an emotional response to that distressing experience that we have. And there is no indicator of how severe our trauma is between myself and yours. They're all equally traumatic. And how our brain registers trauma is just fucking trauma. It doesn't categorize from minimal to significance. They're all an event that causes distress. They're all traumatic, regardless of the intensity and the severity of it. It is trauma. That's how our brain registers it. But as humans, what we tend to do is nitpick and say, no, my trauma is worse than yours. I am worse than yours. But what's the point behind that? Why are you expressing that yours are a lot worse than others, not having any clue of what that person is experiencing? You can't take away that experience they're experiencing because it's not your experience. So what this episode is going to do is going to help you recognize that we're all equally going through shit. Okay, we're all experiencing situations every freaking day that we have to go through. There's something over our heads that we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. So do not strip away the significance of another human suffering and amplify that, hey, I'm important, mine is more important than yours. Because that's not how it should be. Okay, so the traumatic experiences can be from not being told enough by your parents that you're loved, or being neglected by people around you, being bullied at school, being in a physically abusive relationship. It can be mentally, emotionally, physically, having issues with your family member. All of this that you've experienced is all emotionally and mental torture. And, you know, whatever it is all traumatic. It is registered in your body and brain. Like I said, whatever it is, let me remind you, you are not fucking broken. Okay? The reason why you feel that you're broken is because the significance of what you're putting at this situation or event that has happened to you. You are whole. This is normal. What you experience every fucking day is normal. It's not out of the ordinary. If there's billions of people in this entire earth, there's going to be quite a few percentage that has experienced the same fucking severity that you are experiencing. So a lot of this is understanding the significance and how to shift your perspective as a whole. Because let me remind you again, you are worthy. You are significant. Okay, so let me refocus and reframe your mind on this a little bit more and provide a few examples. Now, we cannot go back in time and reverse what has happened in the past. And the past can be literally a second ago. But what you can do is refocus on the now and the future. Let's paint a little picture. Because most often when we go through these events or things that make us not feel enough, it is because we are hurt within ourselves. It is more of like a traumatic childhood response. So it's like your child, you, is hurt. There's fragments of your childhood that has led to your current situation where there's certain portions of you that has still hurt. You're still hurting. So how we're able to kind of focus on the full picture is painting a picture. So regardless, you are everything, okay? Again, you are worthy. But what these events do make you feel unworthy, makes you feel dirty, makes you feel unloved, makes you feel terrible. And it's understandable. You can take the time to experience these emotions, but not sit in it for a duration of time. Let me tell you something very quick. Let's paint a picture. Let's say I tell you the $100 bill that is on the floor, that has been stepped on 1,000 times, that is dirty, that has dirt, residue, is crinkled on the floor, have a little bit of rips on the side. Are you going to throw it away? If I tell you to pick up that $100 bill or show you that there's a $100 bill right in front of you, are you going to disregard that $100 bill and say, fuck it, it's not worth enough? You're going to pick that fucking $100 bill up, right? I will, because the value is still there. Regardless how it looks like, that value is still $100. That's $100 that you have now than when you had a second ago. So you see, regardless of how it looks, or regardless of the amount of rips or smothered in dirt or all crinkled and it looks terrible, it still holds value. You can clean that shit up. You can wash it up. You can air dry it. You can blow dry it. It's still useful. It's still valuable. You're going to keep it. So regardless its condition, because it's its value, it's still valuable. Obviously, you're worth more than a $100 bill. Okay, we're priceless, but it's still the same. So regardless of the fucking shit that we gone through or the terrible situations that has made us feel like we're dented, that we're smothered in dirt, that we're ripped apart, that we're broken, you're actually valuable. You still have that value, but sometimes what's going to need to happen is we need to clean ourselves up a little bit. Sometimes we need that other person to tell you, hey, look, I get it. I understand. But don't get too deep into this hole because you're still worthy. You're still valuable. It's all about switching the perspective of the situation that you're in. Let me tell you another example for those who like to bake or cook. Let's bake a cake. I love chocolate cake, so I'm gonna tore that shit up, okay? Regardless. I love chocolate cake. So let's say we're going through that process of baking. And when in the oven, you started to notice that there's cracks on the top and there's lines that are started to form on the top. And it's not something you wanted to see. It's not smooth. Are you going to throw that cake away and redo the whole thing, the whole process, and make another one, which you probably will know that it's going to crinkle and have forms of lines on the top as well? Are you going to actually throw that cake away? No. I mean, I hope not, because you're going to work with it. You're going to make it work. You're going to beautify it with frosting, designs to the point that it's disguised. It's not even there. That the lines are not even there. But even if it cracks open, or even if there's certain things that show that there's some lines on the top, that cake is still worth eating. It doesn't change the flavor or the taste of the fucking cake if there are some lines or even a dent that has been made through that process. It's still cake. You have choices. What I'm trying to say is that you have choices today. You can choose to suffer and stick to the story that you have been telling yourself, or you can make something out of these moments. You can make something out of these terrible situations, rise up, recreate the story, accept it, and change your current and future. You are not fucking broken. What you're going through is normal. Okay? It is the process that is where we build ourselves up. So let me end this episode with something that you can work on today. How can you overcome this feeling? I know it's easier said than done because there's a lot of work, but how can you overcome this feeling? Talk it out. Talk to someone. Talk to your best friend. Talk to your significant other. Talk to your family member. Talk to someone that you can go in confidence and have no judgment. And I'm not saying you can go to therapy. I mean, I would suggest that you go to speaking to someone that has the ability to kind of network through those thought processes and provide an actual biased opinion or non-biased opinion. The power of the event. Okay, let's talk about the event or the mindset that you're in now. All right, the power of the event that has happened to you, if you keep pushing it down way beneath their soul, which is going to come back up regardless. It's going to keep eating you up. If you don't talk about what is hurting you, what has hurt you, okay, you are actually giving more power to that situation, to that feeling, and you are powerless. So when you talk to someone or talk about what's happening to you, okay, because I know there's a lot of taboo with speaking feelings out, especially men, all right, which is not good because most often men just push it down, stay quiet, be a man. No. That is not how you deal with it. Both men and females, both have emotions, both have a thought process, both have brains, both have a heart. We're the same fucking species, okay? And being able to speak up is what is needed, okay, to heal. When you speak up, you're going to talk more. You're going to feel less emotions tied to this event. You're starting to feel like you're becoming more grounded. You're starting to go through this process of healing where you would actually take the power back. So instead of that situation or feelings having power over you, it will become less power over you. And once you become powerful, guess what's going to happen? That event is going to be your fucking superpower. That is the key, babes. That is the fucking key. If you start taking your power back by recognizing it, changing the story, accepting it, also start taking actions in that process of saying, hey, I am worthy, I am enough, and what has happened is no indicator of who I am. It is something that has happened to me, but that is not all of me. So instead of looking at your cards being dealt on negative, you're going to have those cards under your fucking belt and say, hey, this is what I've been through, and this is how powerful I am, and this has no hold over me. That is part of what I'm doing in this podcast, is because I recognize unlocking my power by speaking up and being authentic and being raw and being real with you guys. So you are actually also seeing me going through this journey of healing and recognizing that we're all humans. I have a story. You have a story. That story has to be spoken in order to not only help you to continuously heal, because that's one aspect of healing, but also telling people, hey, it's okay to talk about it. It's okay to be in a situation and feel like crap, but you should not stay there. You are powerful, so rise the fuck up and use this as your superpower and encourage others and keep building. Hopefully this episode has helped you to recognize how authentically beautiful and enough you are because you're not fucking broken. Okay? Get that shit out of your head. Start working on the healing process by first recognizing, talking to someone, changing the fucking story in your head, and start creating a life that you are worthy of living because you are worth it. So if you enjoy listening to this podcast and enjoy this episode where it's more of a dive-in driven and pep talk, please subscribe and please share, as this is something that I want to keep providing great content for you guys, but content that is powerful enough for you to switch your mindset on the day-to-day basis. Don't forget to rate the show. And also, if you can go to the Apple Podcast and leave a review, I would definitely appreciate it. And of course, I do love you guys. Now, you can also follow me on IG and TikTok, which is checka_rebuilt. If you have any questions and would like to suggest a topic, please email me at unlockingyourpower@gmail.com. And you can also find me at www.francescaroldan.com, where if you are interested in becoming part a podcast of an interview, please sign the form that is in one of the tabs that I have there on my website. But again, see you guys next week. And remember, you are a freaking badass. Chin up, heads up, love. See ya. Thank you for tuning in to the Unlocking Your Power with Francesca podcast. Please make sure you are subscribed so that you never miss an episode. And if you feel this message was great, please go ahead and share it with your friends and family so they can get a dose of inspiration. Don't forget to leave a review and rate the show. Love ya. Bye.